I'm Nikki Eisenhower, and it's nice to see you again. I am here with a motivation mindset, and I want to talk to you a little bit about anger today. The motivation mindset, or the mantra I want to offer you, is I allow, I acknowledge, and I release anger. I allow anger. I acknowledge anger. I release anger. I'm going to read to you a passage from the Language of Letting Go journal, one of my favorites by Melody Beatty. And when she says recovery, I believe she means recovery from addiction or recovery from codependency. When I say recovery, I mean recovery for this modern life. Melody Beatty says, letting go of anger. In recovery, we often discuss anger objectively. Yes, we reason. It's an emotion we're all prone to experience. Yes, the goal in recovery is to be free of resentment and anger. Yes, it's okay to feel angry. We agree. Well, maybe. Anger is a powerful and sometimes frightening emotion. It's also a beneficial one if it's not allowed to harden into resentment or used as a battering ram to punish or abuse people. Anger is a warning signal. It points to problems. Sometimes it signals problems we need to solve. Sometimes it points to boundaries we need to set. Sometimes it's the final burst of energy before letting go or acceptance settles in. And sometimes anger just is. It doesn't have to be justified. It usually can't be confined to a tidy package, and it need not cause us to stifle ourselves or our energy. We don't have to feel guilty whenever we expense anger. We don't have to feel guilty. Breathe deeply. We can shamelessly feel all our feelings, including anger, and still take responsibility for our behaviors. I will feel and release any angry feelings I have today. I can do that appropriately and safely. Anger's a tricky one, right? Some of us grew up with it being expressed so much and inadequately and toxically, used as a battering ram, used abusively, and it was scary, especially if we were little. Some of us grew up never, ever, ever seeing anybody get angry. They just stuffed it and stuffed it and stuffed it. And many of us are somewhere on that continuum. Sometimes stuffers then go to the other side and volcano when they can't stuff it anymore. Each of us has to figure out, how does my anger come up? What do I do with it? What do I want my relationship with anger to be? And if anger scares us, or we feel bad or wrong or shameful, or like we're not doing something right, like we're not as highly evolved if we're feeling our anger, then it's really, really tricky to make peace with an anger process so that we can allow, acknowledge, and release anger. Even when I offer this mantra and this motivation, I want to say, it's okay to sit for a moment with the anger. I think because we know that the goal is to release it, to move through it, we feel like we're not doing it right when we feel it. And we don't have to compound the difficulty of our experience or our process by fighting the reality that we are going to feel and deal with anger. I was angry at myself most recently and the world, just like Melody Beatty said, for some things that I'm seeing out there in the world that I don't like, that go against this work that I'm doing in the world. I've been angry at myself, even my body, for having a chronic pain flare up that despite my best efforts doing all the things, I just haven't been able to get back to a normal or to a baseline that feels good to my body and to functionality and to flow. I had to acknowledge I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I don't like this. And we learn that we can do what we can do and we can let go of the rest. So for today's mindset motivation and potential mantra for you to play with and make your own, I allow, acknowledge, and release anger. I allow, acknowledge, and release anger. And maybe today or in this moment, You're at the place of just allowing the anger, of letting yourself feel. When we do that, we start to separate the difference between our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors. In anger, we don't want to use anger to lash out at people. That's when it's destructive. But we can learn how to hold ourselves within anger, release it appropriately, screaming into a pillow, screaming on the interstate, doing a kickboxing class or a strong yoga workout or a bike ride or a long walk and getting it out of our bodies. We learn how to do this bit by bit by bit. I don't think we're ever going to live in a world that doesn't invite us to get angry, if not daily, moment to moment to moment to moment. So as we learn how to allow, acknowledge, and release anger, it helps us move through. Respect ourselves, our experience, our feeling, and then let go. And that letting go is what lets us get back to the business of doing, of living, of being a human being on this planet. Light and love. I allow, acknowledge, and release anger. I allow, acknowledge, and release anger. I do that for grown-up me. I do that for inner child me. I allow, acknowledge, and release anger. Light and love. And I'll see you right here next time and on the show. Bye-bye.